Howdy everyone, it's me once again, the one and only Killer Rodan. And today, as you can see, I'm still continuing my Disney movie marathon where I'll be talking about their movies, TV shows, I don't know, whatever the case may be. If it's related to Disney in any shape or form, then yes, of course, I'll be talking about it. So I just thought I'll just do a discussion kind of a thing here because it's something I've been meaning to talk about for a good while anyway. And yes, of course, I just thought might as well just get to it. Of course, I like kung fu martial arts, even though I feel like I don't talk about that often, even though I technically do. But anyway, point being, it's a genre I've visited multiple times by this point, and I wouldn't mind visiting it again. And even though, despite the fact I haven't done that in a good while, but here we are. Just thought I would just merge the two, talk about Disney and kung fu at the same time. Because honestly, the thing is that this is an area where Disney could have actually explored more, and they hardly didn't. Not really. And oh boy, just wish they could have done that a bit more often when I think about it, because it seems like a waste of potential. Yes, I know they're known for their princesses and whatnot, which is fine. This is not a stab towards that whatsoever. Of course, you're gonna have these kinds of adventures with casters, and of course having musical numbers, sidekick, sidekick animals and whatnot. So all that's fine. You can keep all that. Nothing wrong with that, really. So this isn't me trying to deconstruct, reconstruct this whole idea of the princesses. Of course, I'm not trying to rant about that exactly. That's not what I'm trying to do here, because I have no issues with this kind of a storytelling. I'm perfectly fine with that. Really, when you think about it. Sure, I like these types of movies anyway to begin with. I'm just talking about merging the two. And anyway, wouldn't the original Mulan film be considered as kung fu? It's just something I'm wondering about because the live action remake is considered as martial arts. But okay, terrible movie though. And again, I have to state this, even though it doesn't really have to be stated, that I don't have an issue with a woman being the main character, nor I don't have an issue with a character being Asian as the main character. That's fine. The company of Disney has been making so many movies over the years with just female leads. If anything, it's part of the brand. So why complain about that now? That makes no sense. Anyway, it's just that the Mulan remake is completely soulless. There's no reason for this to exist whatsoever. I mean, granted, you can always argue that maybe this franchise was doomed to from the start because Mulan 2 happened. Yeah, which was okay if I'm feeling generous. But yes, there was actually going to be a Mulan 3. But since the second movie was not well received so well, they canceled this project. And for all you know, there could have been a fourth Mulan film if the second movie was better received, for all you know. So I know, this seems maybe a bit of a stretch, which to some extent it might be. But hey, Frozen 3 and 4 are going to be made simultaneously. Also, there's going to be a fifth Toy Story film. Just throwing that out there. Anyway, but so instead, we have the remake version, the live action film, instead of a third movie. I mean, technically, this is the third movie. It was just remaking the first one. So it's not the third movie that they had in mind originally. So it was supposed to be more realistic, yet we have this character. It just seems like a contradiction when you think about it, but okay. Those other kung fu movies I would much rather be watching, which I enjoyed more. But anyway, but this film, there was nothing. It felt like there was nothing to offer really. It had the same overall story really. I mean, some details have changed, obviously, but in the grand scheme of things, he had the same story. It just felt lifeless, like he had no reason to exist whatsoever. And like I said, there's other kung fu movies out there which I really wish that Disney could be getting spoken about kung fu movies so damn often. I've actually have a playlist here, folks, in case you're wondering. So if you want to check any of those out, there you go. The vast majority of these are the really obscure, low budget stuff, which I tend to like more than the big budget stuff because they tend to be more experimental when you think about it. But anyway, yeah, the most of this kung fu stuff I would talk about are the low budget stuff. So there is an audience for this. There's an audience for these kung fu type movies. That does exist. So it seems like another possibility they could get into. It seems like a missed opportunity when you think about it, because it is. But okay. And for what they have, it's like this one, Windy Food. That was just awful. I did review this one, by the way, in case anyone was wondering. But I didn't like it. I mean, okay, if anything, it was just super corny. It was just really cheesy, if anything, I guess. Mr. Monkey, you're here again? Okay, so someone's gonna pay you to dance. Okay, sure, whatever. Anyway, but like I was saying, this was not particularly good at all, whatsoever. I didn't like it. And the thing is that, yes, you can have, like I was saying, an Asian woman as the main character. It's not like any American or French production that didn't have any Asian main characters, because that has been done before. Like this movie right here, folks. It's a low budget, cheaply made movie, and there was that. And yes, those even subgenres of kung fu. Those the swordplay kung fu. There's the supernatural kung fu. There's the gunplay kung fu. So like any other genre, of course there's gonna be subsets of genre. Like this one, like I was saying, is super low budget, and there's some people that did like it. So there's that. What I'm trying to get at is this seems like a decent opportunity to bring more fans into liking Disney movies. That's like another thing they could possibly get into if they're actually willing to do this kind of a thing and whatnot. I I see the potential here. I mean, yes, of course, those the whole theme parks where they make a lot of money from, and that's fine. There's nothing wrong with making a truck ton of money from the theme parks. Sure, have people get interested into going to theme parks. I don't say why not. You have to make money anyway to run a business when you think about it. That seems like a good way to do it. But as I was saying, I've seen so many kung fu movies over the years, and they'd be pretty damn crazy. And this could be a pretty good way to celebrate somebody else's different culture, regardless of what Asian place they came from, whatever they originated from, I suppose. But this could be a good way to celebrate this kind of a thing, even make that be a part of the story somehow. Sure. And what I'm saying is that a lot of these martial art films that I've watched over the years would often take place in specific time periods. So you could do the same thing here, maybe? I mean, I don't see why not. I mean, yes, there's also that short movie right here, folks, that's on Disney Plus, by the way. I've watched it, which I thought was pretty decent. It wasn't too shabby, of course. And yes, obviously, that was something that was trying to attempt to play like an old homage to old kung fu movies, which is fine. So yeah, it definitely puts me in the mind of, let's say, let me see here. Oh yes, yes, he reminds me of a certain kung fu movie that I did review before. So you can obviously pay tribute to the genre in one way or another. So yeah, I've seen this kind of martial arts films before in the past, and I reviewed. You play like an old mod kind of a thing. Sure, why not? And when you think about it, Disney has already done that already with the movie Wish, which is pretty much playing a tribute to the original Disney princess movies. So there's that, obviously. But yes, of course you can do that. I don't see nothing wrong with that. There's definitely quite a few these martial art films that did something crazy, something wild. And of course, you have these monks fighting each other for whatever reason. You can have that kind of a thing be played into the story some kind of way. I don't see why not. But anyway, but yes, the thing is that I did watch these kinds of films before, and I reviewed quite a few. Of course, it could be very testosterone-driven type of thing, but that doesn't mean these types of movies can't be action-packed. Sure, it's a female lead, but that shouldn't stop it from being really fast-paced. And if the remake of Mulan did anything right, which I hardly did, is that it made me appreciate the original film a whole lot more, if anything. And I don't think that's what it was trying to do. But anyway, but yes, you could have like these kinds of stories where this village might be attacked or something, and have the main character defend it, or maybe a princess. And mind you, this is not a stab towards the princess movies, like I was saying before. And this is not trying to say that all the old Disney princess movies are terrible. No, this is not a rant about that. I'm just getting tired of Disney remaking everything. You don't have to remake everything. Matter of fact, don't remake anything at all. I just want them to try to attempt to create new stories, be more original. Yes, I realize that's more easier said than done. And of course, I know there's some people going to be saying that everything under the sun has been done, which I have to disagree with because that's clearly not the case whatsoever. Not everything underneath the sun has been done. This comes off like an excuse. There's a lot of people out there do like Disney. It's a household name. It just comes off like they're not trying as hard, that is movie wise. I'm not talking about the theme parks. The theme parks are fine, okay? The theme parks are great in their own way. There's nothing wrong with the theme parks. They're still doing fantastic in that regard. So with that, it's fine. It's not a complaint. It's not a rant on the theme parks because on the theme parks they're doing just fine. So if anything, I'm not here to just complain about that because they keep doing well in that regard. But anyway, moving on from that, what I'm trying to get at is that I just wish that they could try to be more creative with their storytelling and whatnot. I mean, it's fine that they're making a lot of money, again, like I was saying, from their theme parks. There's nothing inherently wrong with that per se, because they can bring in a lot of money from that, and that's fine. There's nothing wrong with that. But I'm just trying to say that that's a good way to make money there too. It could be a lot of fun to go there. But anyway, point being is that I just wish they could explore different types of stories instead of just regurgitating something that we already saw already. Which, yes, I complained about Disney before, and the kung fu stuff that they who do have is too few. It's too little. There's too little kung fu stories that they have. Way too few. So, if anything, my biggest complaint, and then other than just remaking everything, is that this just seems like a missed opportunity. Is what I'm saying. It just seems like a big missed opportunity at the end of the day. It just seems like they're just trying to focus on something that's too familiar so that people can come in and just watch the movies. Yes, obviously, they want to stick with nostalgia. They just want to make a lot of money on nostalgia, and that's it, really. I mean, you could blame the audience too, because the audience keeps flocking to these types of movies because it's something that they saw when they were little kids. Which, in some ways, I can kind of see why Disney would do this because it's a business tactic. If anything, it's a business tactic. So, of course, they want to stick to what's familiar. Because what's familiar already has an existing fan base. If you create something brand new, it doesn't. Which is why one of many reasons as to why I'm getting mad at the Mulan remake. It was insulting. It was very insulting. Yes, again, like I just said a moment ago, I'm aware that the original Mulan already had a fan base already, which is of course why they made a part two and then eventually made this remake. But anyway, it's just their lazy way trying to cash in on something that's already there, of course. And that's just a damn shame when you think about it. It's like you just want to take the easy way out, of course. And yes, the thing is just no. This is a big fat no. I just regret watching this movie. I'm not gonna watch it ever. So of course, the main character Mulan is not very likable at all. And yes, I know I'm supposed to be rooting for Mulan, but Mr. Monkey. Looks like you have a friend there. Okay. Okay, looks like you two have money. Okay, you two have pretty good amount of money there. So, okay, looks like you have a side thing going on. Okay, sure, whatever. These two always get on my nerves. I mean, really. Anyway, like I was trying to say here is that Mulan herself is not very interesting whatsoever. And yes, I know she wants to dress up as a boy to pretty much help her father, and because it has something to do with honor and whatnot. Like I was saying earlier, it's more or less the same exact movie. It's just some slight tweaks. Really, it's lifeless. Really, it's a total bore fest. It's roughly 2 hours of boring. Really, this entire film is just completely joyless and shallow. Even if I don't compare it to the original film, even if I want to just accept this as its own thing, it's still lifeless at the end of the day. Ugh, what the heck? What, Mr. Monkey? What are you doing? Where are you two anyway? Boy, you just roaming around the streets by the looks of it. Okay. It looks like it's pretty late over there where you're at, but okay. The both of you just give me headaches. It looks like you and your friend just go get a job. Yeah, both of you get a job. You were just dancing a moment ago. Get some money. Oh boy. Okay, what did they run off to? Okay, that's just weird. Oh boy. Mr. Monkey. Anyway, like I was trying to say a moment ago, folks, is that this is something I regret seeing because a lot of the dialogue is bad. A lot of the dialogue is just felt awfully written. I mean, yes, of course, there's nothing inherently wrong with wanting to express loyalty, bravery, and truth in film. Sure, that's fine. But again, ultimately, it's the execution that's terrible. Why does this film need to be remade? We already have this movie, the original movie, which I can just rewatch the film and it would just been fine. Also, some of the characters do feel underdeveloped. Mr. Monkey! Looks like you went to another spot to make some money. Okay. You were just dancing or something, weren't you? Okay, that's one way to make money, sure. Well, at least you're not asking me for cash. Anyway, like I was trying to say here, folks, just some of the characters felt underdeveloped, really. Like they were rushing through a lot of the stuff here. Just rushing through just to get out the way. I mean, yes, I do realize that when it comes to making movies, there is a deadline, and you have to meet up that deadline. That's perfectly understandable. But there shouldn't be any excuses whatsoever. Yes, Disney does not have to try as hard as they used to be when they were just starting off, because nowadays they have so many people like them stuff. And considering the fact that it's a household name, like I was saying earlier, it's a brand name at this point. So they have lot of money, a lot of money to toy with. You mean to tell me you can't think of any actual good kung fu stories that they could do for their films? So you're just gonna go back and just revisit movies just to reboot them because of course you're gonna do that. And Mr. Monkey, what are you doing? Oh, more of these dancing stuff. Okay, you just starting to piss me off. I'm just attempting to do this video, okay? And you keep interrupting me. Well, again, like I said, you're trying to dance by there, so that's something. Anyway, not all the acting is terrible in this movie, and some of the scenes that were actually well choreographed, so that's something. So, on a visual level, some of the stuff here is actually quite nice, actually. So, in that regard, it looks decent. The visuals look decent, actually. Sure, I'll give the movie that because obviously this movie actually has a budget compared to the comfort movies that we typically talk about. So I guess Mr. Monkey. Okay, I'll have to do something to you. I got some for you. Hey, over here. That's what you get. What's your friend at? Where's your friend? Ha 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 ha. That's what you get. Well, okay. Alright. Just Rocky is over here just minding his own business. He's just doing his own thing. Okay. Alright. Comfy? You want some num num? Nah, you're right. I get you something to eat later. Be right back with you in a bit. But okay, see, I much rather spend some time with the cat instead. Anyway, okay, my final thoughts is that even if you want to argue that you don't have to tell the stories the same exact way because there's no Mushu, of course, which in itself is a crime, and there's no singing in this movie at all, which again is another crime as well. Then why reboot it? Then why remake it in the first place? This makes no sense. Just do a more of an original story. Mulan 2 did an original story. Why can't you do that here? Just rather bizarre when you think about it. Whatever. Anyway, folks, I want to see more kung fu movies being made by Disney. Is what I'm getting at. Be more original. That's all I'm gonna really say. That's like the whole point of this video. Kung fu, Disney, be more original. That's it. Boy, whatever. I don't know anymore. Christ Almighty. I don't know. Maybe someone's complaining too much. That's it. I'm going to Wendy's. Thanks for watching and see you, folks. Later.